25 years old and have 3 children. I'm a single mother. I go to school. I'm in housing and on assistance. At times it's tough, but I get through it. Growing up, my parents were together but split when I was about 11 or 12. It was pretty rough for me and my 2 sisters. Then I had to choose which parent to live with. I lived with my dad for a while. He ended up remarrying and had 3 new children. Things kind of got out of hand. Dad tried to discipline and set rules. I started to be rebellious and didn't want to listen. I just did my own thing. My mom took me in after that. Me and my mom fought a lot because of my choices. I got into drugs, skipping school, and running with the boys. Normal stuff. I wasn't getting into criminal activity or anything like that. High school was a lot of pressure trying to fit in. It stressed me out, so I dropped out at 17. I kick myself in the butt for doing that. My mom telling me that I had to go to school, but I didn't. She was on assistance herself after the divorce, so I didn't listen. Then I got into a relationship with a guy who was on assistance and moved to another province. So there's me following behind. I jumped from job to job, trying to find steady work. I tried to go to school out there. Then I was sexually assaulted. I didn't want to live there anymore because of what happened. I ended up pregnant. Then I had medical problems with the pregnancy, and at 6 months had my appendix out. So I wound up dropping out of school. Once I found out I was having a little girl, I was scared something bad would happen to her in a big city, so I wanted to come back home. I was no longer in the relationship. I really had no place to go. I couldn't stay with my relatives for long, which forced me to live at a shelter. I didn't want to bring my child there, so my daughter lived with my mom for almost 2 years. That was a rough time for me. I got into drugs and was depressed. Then I found out I was bipolar, so it opened my eyes about why I relied on the drugs. I quit drugs and got on medication. I got my daughter back. Assistants helped me get daycare and set me up with the LEAP program for parents who are under the age of 25. They helped me get back on my feet, but it was a pretty rough year. When my son was born, he was 6 weeks premature. He stayed in the hospital for about a good 2 months before he could come home. His lungs weren't that great and he couldn't breathe without being on CPAP. He dealt with that for about a year. Then he was diagnosed with a rare disease and had to be airlifted to Sick Kids Hospital to be treated. I got a travel grant from assistance. He was hospitalized there, so we stayed for a while. That boy has definitely been through a lot, but he's a happy-go-lucky boy. Once he was discharged, I had to find the money to get back home. The doctor said that I couldn't catch the bus home because of his type of disease and the risks. So I made a phone call to one of the OW workers, and they helped get us airlifted home. Life hasn't been easy. I have full custody of my kids. No dads are involved, which kind of sucks because you get no help and you do it all on your own. It can be stressful. Having kids, I needed to rely on assistance a little longer than I wanted. I didn't want my kids to grow up and see that I didn't finish high school and that I'm on assistance. So I took the initiative to go back to school and get it done. I did it for them. I'm building them a better future. My mom was on assistance, and it's not an okay life to have if you're on it and rely on it all the time. But if you rely on it to turn your life around and get your feet going, then that's what it's properly used for. This year, I get to graduate school. I'm pretty excited about that. I should have done it when I was in high school, but I'm getting it done now, so I'm pretty proud of myself. 2 of my kids are in different daycares. You have to wait for spots to open, so it's a struggle for me in the mornings to get up, get them both ready, and then I've got to go to one place and then to a different place just before I can actually make it to school myself. And I walk or bus. It's even more difficult in the wintertime. I have to catch at least 4 buses. I have to cab it to get groceries, which is hard because that comes out of the food money. I'm working on getting my license, which is another goal. Everything's a work in progress, but I'm getting there. It's a step at a time. Now I'm going to college. I want a career that I enjoy doing. I'm studying hairdressing. I really enjoy doing hair, even when I was little and playing with Barbies. I loved going to the hairdresser. My auntie was a hairdresser too, so I'm keeping that tradition going. I want to have a career and start making money so I don't have to struggle anymore with assistance. I hope to have a house and a car. I want my family together and to have a happy home and happy life. And I want more Sunday dinners like I had when I was really young at my grandparents' house. We had family dinner every Sunday. That was our family thing, sitting around, chatting and laughing, stealing meatballs from my grandfather's sauce. When my grandfather passed, the family just started to fall apart. I don't want that to happen with my family. I want my kids to have family all around. I want to restart that tradition with my kids once I get a bigger place to do that. It would probably make my grandparents proud. Everything is a step at a time.